Okay, so we can start. We are speaking on the German market. Germany has been, it's probably one of the most interesting market in Europe. And it has had a never-ending story of being not properly regulated. So we had a licensing procedure which started in 2012 and went nowhere. So not a single license has been granted, but just 10 days ago, the first 15 sports betting licenses have been granted. So finally, Germany has become a more mature market. We have, since a week ago, we have got a kind of transitional regime. So if operators observe the new regulation, which will come in force the 1st of July 2021, they are free to do so, and they are do not have to fear any prohibition or criminal sanctions anymore. However, the regulation has become quite more difficult for operators to obey. So my first question would be to Simon. Simon, you are offering, or your company is offering solutions. So if you look at the new Know Your Customer rules, age verification, anti-money laundering, are you happy about the new regulation? What can you offer to operators?
There is a chest, so not quite happy about the regulation as it is so far, but that there is already a regulation in place right now is good achievement in the moment. And all the operators are just dealing with all the issues that came up due to the clauses that were made to handing out the licenses, evaluating the application. But for us, it's quite busy right now because everyone who wants to off right now in Germany are struggling with KYC processes and all that stuff that comes with the regulation or with the transition. So there are a lot of questions from companies that come from abroad. There are a lot of questions according to KYC rate in Germany already, because no one knows what is the right process to onboard customers right now, because no one has the experience of a lot of services that are on the market right now. So we're figuring out together what a really, really good choice for offering to the end customer for onboarding and identifying and authenticating. And there are a bunch of solutions on the market, which makes it even more heavier for the operators to pick out the right ones and orchestrate them, that you have a good conversion. Because not all the people like all the identification services.
Okay, so my question would be now to Matthias. There will be lots of new operators. Probably, do you see a new market for your company, or how do you expect how things are going to develop?
Yes, thank you. We are running as Sport One. We are running in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland one free TV sport TV station, two pay TV sports stations, and Germany's largest sport online offer. So we are now on a historical point. We are involved in sport betting issues since I think 20 years, and since 20 years we are fighting and for liberalization of the market, and now it's the first time that one of our partners got a license in his hand. This is an historical moment for the German market. This is the good aspect in the future regulation. On the other hand, the regulation means also a lot of restrictions that we are, which we see very, very critical. But I think, in my opinion, now the market will be clear and regulated, and also ready for a lot of companies and a lot of potential partners that have to follow very, very strict compliance rules. They are stock exchange listed companies. They are not able to invest in gray markets. And now they have a proper license in their hands, and they have clear rules how to act in Germany. And so they can come to a proper decision if they want to enter into the German market or not. And from my perspective, the future regulation will have big possibilities, especially in view of our ad sales business.
And the restrictions, you're only allowed under the new rules to send commercials after 9 o'clock in the evening. Is that?
No, it's only for casino.
Okay.
Not in view of sport betting. In sport betting, it's yes, you are totally right. It's one of the restrictions. Yes, it's that hits us hard as TV operators. For example, the restrictions in Germany for the online casino markets. In view of advertising in the future from 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the night, it's not allowed to bring out TV ads for online casinos, and this is a market that is developing very, very well. From my assumption, the online casino market in Germany had in 2019 a GGR of 2.3 billion. It's a very, very fast growing market, and from my perspective, also this market participants should be allowed to make TV advertising to bring also the people who make online casino in especially in internet into the regulated sites and into the regulated offers, and because of youth protection and so on, they shouldn't play in non-regulated offers. And especially the TV advertising possibilities is one reason. Or one reason to bring people into the regulated offers, and yes, but this will be a point we have to discuss in the future if this is a proper solution. But at the beginning, I see a lot of opportunities coming out of the new regulation.
Okay, yeah. Nowadays, you were only allowed to show commercials for operators licensed in Schleswig-Holstein, which is a tiny market.
Correct.
So, to Nico, you're not an operator, but you're part of the sports betting business. So, how will you deal with the new rules, the new regulation? Nico? Hello?
Oh, sorry. So we have to deal with a change of regulation or regulated markets. If you just take a look at Malta and how they actually handle the identification process of players, etc., this is not something new we have to deal with. So first of all, I am happy that the German market is maturing, and that we have reliable or a rule set which you can either adapt to or apply to. So each and everyone being interested in the German market, and as you, Martin, already pointed out, and Matthias, the market is huge. So we are talking about 9.2 billion euros of taxable revenue. So that's the thing.
Correct.
And we will just see what happens actually to the companies adjusting to the rule set, adjusting to the existing rule set, and what is even more important, what actually happens to the people not applying or not being compliant with the rules.
Sorry, could you talk a bit softer? Could you talk a bit
Ladies and
softer,
gentlemen,
please?
members of the ICE
Right.
International to Brussels, living in the future.
Yeah, it certainly will take some time for the new regulatory authority to take over. It takes until 2021 or even until the end of 2022, actually, for the new regulatory authority in Saxony-Anhalt to, and I'm still wondering how they will really cope with a new regulation, a central database for all players. That's from the data protection view, it's a nightmare. But it will be that the operators will really have to invest quite a lot in IT solutions, and really have to look on how to obey the new rules. So Simon, what directly are you offering? How are you ready to connect operators with a new authority, or you're probably still working on it, or how things are developing?
So from our end, we just have a balanced platform approach to enable operators to all, I would say, end-to-end KYC solution. They could either do the PEP and sanction checks, or fraud checks, identification check, databases, or use several services which are positively approved by the KYM or fulfill any kind of AML regulations. So they turn together, they can put together on a workflow from scratch, which is like the operators want to have it, or they can just use one services. So we grant a strategic flexibility to react on a situation in the German market, which has now somehow borders, but some things are still not clear how they should be orchestrated and stuff like that. So we developed, as I said, this platform which enables the operator to can align or can react on changings in a strategic point of view. So maybe there is today, you only need to have access to a PEP and sanction list, but due to changes to regulation, you need a totally different identification service, what's not there in the market right now, maybe in 2 years. And then you don't need to do the full integration. You have access to our interface, we plug it into our platform, and then it's available for you. So we transport the complete technical integration part to our site, so that the operators can hardly focus on their core business. And this is really, really important because the regulation is changing and a lot of players are in the market, and it's really hard to have this overview during the years, who is on the market, what is changing in the regulation. And what operators want to do, they only want to offer a gambling solution to the end customers. This is theirs, and this is what they want to deal with. They want to put money in, effort in, and all that stuff. They don't want to work with regulation too. And we put it, all the work is focus on your core business, we do the rest. And this is the approach. And when it comes to the database you mentioned, which is hosted by an authority in wherever it is, it's quite a challenging, or it's quite a big approach to set a database like that, because you need to have access to all the backends from every operator which has get a license, and you need to have a real-time exchange of all this data to make sure that you can monitor it properly. Because you need all those real-time informations to exactly check in every second, is there an addiction? Is this player exceeding certain limits? And this is a really, really big data set, which you always need to exchange with everyone. And this is quite hard from a GDPR point of view, of course, but from a technical point of view, because maybe there are 25 different interfaces, and you have to align them. And then you need to request against those data sets. You need to have responses from those data sets. So this is a quite challenging approach of the authority, and I'm interested to see how fast they can set up a database like this.
Yeah, it probably will take at least a year or 2 years, I guess, to just build up the authority and the IT system. There's already spending some 900,000 euros this year and 3 million next year, but it won't be enough to build up such a huge IT project.
Yeah, totally agreed. Because CRIF is hosting 2 or 3 of the biggest data pools in Germany. We host a data pool for the telecommunication industry. We're currently setting up a data pool for the energy sector. And this is almost the same approach. It's not real-time exchange, but it's a database where everyone is profiting from. So you give information into the database, and you have access to additional info which you don't have access to if you were not in this database. So there is a benefit, but it's quite challenging to get everything on one table. This is different when there is a regulator that says we need a database like this. But the decision that has to be made is it a buy or make decision? Does the authority want to set up the database on its own? I assume it will take a little, if a specialist company will do that, because I don't know if there is the knowledge of setting up data pools and real-time exchanging of data. So I'm quite interested to see going to process within this field.
Yeah. It will be a very smooth. It won't be a smooth transition probably from the current regulator to the new central authority, but let's see how it works. You calculate with 31 people, civil servants, which will work for the authority, which is not very much for a huge market like Germany.
Yeah,
so,
totally. I think we had a short discussion about that yesterday. It's not about setting it up and planning people. You need to find those people, and software developers are hard to find. So this is quite challenging as well, to set up a team which is able to set up a software or a data pool or kind of monitoring solution, because you need the manpower and you need the knowledge. And I don't know if you can just employ those people in a short period of time, because everyone is looking for those people right now.
Yeah. Won't be so easy.
No.
So back to Matthias, you already mentioned there will be some new market entrants. The Deutsche Telekom some years ago already bought an operator. Where do you see new operators or new market entrants? Are the media companies obviously are keen to enter the gambling or sports betting market? Are there any other potential new market entrants?
Yes, on the one hand, you see big global players now entering the German market, like Bet365. And on the other hand, you have also very big players and very good partners of us, which are acting in Germany since a very, very long time, like BWin, like Tipico, but also other market participants. And these guys are now very proud to have their license and to know which strict rules to follow. And I don't know if there are any plans in the media industry to make their own sport betting offers, but from our side, we can say that we are not planning to make our own sport betting offer, because our core business is doing sports editorial sports platforms and media offers, and not providing sport betting in Germany.
Okay. So, well, back to Nico, perhaps. The market will completely change, and probably there are new market entrants, and the regulation will be quite tough for affiliates and for operators. How will you cope? Do you see a new chance, or are you fearing that the new operators will take away your business, or how it's going to develop?
So we're not afraid of. Yeah, so we're not afraid of operators actually taking away the business, but in the end, if you want to solve a problem, right, you have to take the overall value chain into account, right? So what is the value chain we are looking at? And this is not just a German thing, a Maltese thing, or an European thing, Asian thing, or whatever, right? So first of all, you have different people, different players, and they come from different locations. And then you want to actually move an anonymous consumer into a identified person, and there are several steps in the food chain or the value chain where actually just someone being interested in the Philadelphia Eagles or a barista or whatever comes with has been identified, and now he's not just consumer XYZ, he's Warren the Welshman, right? And this is the overall food chain, value chain we need to have a look at, because if this doesn't work, and this is something we already touched on during the preparation of this presentation, for us as an affiliate or being in the online business, right? It's easy to either send someone into a jurisdiction which is licensed, or into a non-licensed jurisdiction. And what we all want to do is we want to open up the market, and each and everyone should be happy in actually in being in the market. Of course, different rules apply, but this just works if people and customers and also the operators have a certain interest in being in the market and being compliant with all the rules which actually come up with the market. So this is what even the jurisdictions need to take into account. You don't have this kind of national territories anymore, because in the end, if I'm not satisfied as a consumer or a customer with a certain offering, I just delete an application, I just go into another website, and then I'm gone. And in the end, each and everyone wants to keep or needs to have the player protection in their minds, etc. And this is where the expertise of the operators comes into mind, and they just need to talk to jurisdiction in the end what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. But we're happy that at least we have a regulation and something to being able to be working on, because this is always a good thing. There will never be a perfect solution, no matter how long it actually takes. If you just take a look at the mobile carrier markets, etc., right? There have been always different regulations, and they evolved. And now, for the first time since 20 years, we have something to grab on and to being able to deal with, which in the end is a good thing. And this will be a playground, actually regulated playground, where customers, operators, and all the suppliers are being able to cope with.
Correct. Yes.
So you are quite happy with the mature regulation. It would be nice to have
I'm pretty sure everyone is happy with the mature regulation.
Yeah. Finally, it's nice to have after 8 years actually the first licenses. So I'm quite interested to see how things are developing, and the license holders, of course, will try to get the black market operators out of the market. So that will be quite interesting to see. You don't see yourself, Nico. You're not yourself. You don't see yourself as an affiliate. The new regulation are quite tough on how many accounts a customer can have and how with which operators he can play at the same time. Nowadays it's the new regulation prescribes that it's completely you're not allowed to play with several operators at the same time, but that doesn't hurt your business.
In the end, it doesn't hurt our business. The thing is, and this is what we always need to keep in mind, what customers are we speaking about? Are we speaking about a well-identified customers, or are we talking about new signups, right? Because in the end, we are always facing reality, and reality means, first of all, a lot of people are running different websites, right? Whether you are interested in sushi, Formula One, barista, or you're interested in block roads, whatever, right? We want to have those customers being transferred into an identified customers. And also, this is where the expertise of Matthias comes into play. In the end, operators will just spend money on advertisements or running adverts as long as those adverts actually convert, right? And as long as this works, it's a value chain where each and everyone will be able to being happy. But as soon as the rule sets get so strict, you will just literally dry out the existing market. And as soon as you dry out the existing market, spendings will shift from the official broadcasters maybe to websites or to Twitch or to TikTok or whatever, because this is the already existing fight for the customer or fight for the spendings, right? And you just need to face the reality. It's a good thing that there's certain rules which each and everyone will cope with, but now we have to work. Now the real work starts, and in the end, it's not the regulators, it's not the operators who decide actually if a rule set is working. It's the customers. It's the customers who actually decide whether they want to hand in their information or if they just sign up at a different operator, right? And this is what we always need to keep in mind, right?
So that would be a good question to Simon, whether the customers are really happy to give all the information. So if you want to raise the cap under the current regulation, you're only allowed to place 1,000 euros a month, and if you want to raise this cap to 10,000, you have to give quite a lot of information to the operator. What's your experience or your expectation? Do customers are willing to gives this quite sensitive information? You usually talk about your income and your wealth with complete strangers or with a gambling company.
Yes, this is hard to answer because I don't know what each and every single German would do on an operator side. What we need is, but what we know is that the information we need to make sure that we can increase a threshold to 2,000, 4, 8, 10, whatever thousand euros is that we need the information about source of funds, source of wealth from the customer. And then the question is, how can we conversion friendly or elegant get this information from the customers? And currently no one knows if most of the customers have no problems with logging into their bank account, letting their bank account checked for the last 3 months back. What is the average amount on the bank account? Any transactions have been made? What is the amount that goes to the account for what? So this would be quite interesting to see, because we're currently running analyzes how many customer of a bank logged in to verify through their bank account within the iGaming industry. And it's still going on, but it seems that a lot of people, they have no problem with inserting their banking credentials to have access to any kind of form of gaming. So this is, a lot of operators try now to use other information that are gathered from the internet, adverse media, or newspaper articles where maybe a lotto win is explained or whatever. But these are not reliable information. And I don't know how the regulatory deals with request of raising a threshold when I have not reliable information. And the only part where you get this reliable, sorry?
Yeah, it certainly has to be documented, and you still have to think about future customer claims. So there will be certainly some court suits arguing, I'm just a pure customer. I shouldn't have been allowed to gamble for 5,000 euro.
Yeah, and due to the fact that we want to fight anti-money laundering, we need to know where the money is coming from. And where the money is coming from, only the owner of the money can tell us. So we need to find a way to ask him conversion friendly, hey, where's the money from? And can you give me a reliable information? This is the point. And when we have a solution which enables us to do that, and from my point of view, access to account tool is really good. You only have the hurdle of logging into your banking credential. And as we all know, Germans get always used to it. So if you tell them there is a regulation you have to do, even if you go to another operator, you have to do it, then they will do it because they get used to it. But the awareness that they know that they have to do it in order that they are not a little more money, it needs to be created. And I think all the operators needs to help to create this awareness for, hey, we need this information, otherwise you only have 1,000 euro threshold. And this is the point, creating awareness for a tool which enables operators to increase their revenue, increase the threshold customer, because 1,000 euro customer, I think it's nothing compared to when we go to Malta and see how much money people are spending on iGaming pages.
Yeah, the whales, the big customers certainly are quite interesting for operators. So that's will be an interesting topic, how to deal with raising the cap of 1,000 euro.
Yeah, you need to make sure that the companies, the operators are dealing with. I'm sorry, Nico. You need to make sure that the operators, at least the operators are dealing with, need to be account information service provider, that they are allowed to work with the data they gather. And CRIF is an ASP, and we have a tool evaluated, which is Neos access to account tool. We have access to 5,000 banks all over the world where people can log in and check their balance on their bank account. This could be a good approach.
Okay, yeah.
So there was one major thing, one major learning Simon came up with. So, and that's the main thing about regulation each and everywhere, not just in the field of gaming, also in the field of mobile carriers. It's each and everyone being regulated has to adopt the same rule set, because what Simon just said is very, very important, right? Every operator asks for the same information, because if there's one operator or two operators, right, which don't comply with the regulations, this will result in a shift of customers. If you don't pick up the customer actually where the customer stands and which or what the customer understands, what that he just needs, or he or she needs to provide information X, Y, Z in terms of being able to follow his gaming desire, right? And if you don't pick up the customer exactly where he stands, the customer will not understand. And the thing is, we're all, as of now, we're all facing COVID. And as you can see, I'm wearing a mask, right? Each and everyone in Germany is wearing a mask. 1 year ago, no one in Germany would have ever worn a mask. But as of now, we're used to it. And we need to do the same thing about the German market as well. So we just have to answer two major questions. What are the rules that we can apply for each and everyone? And what are the...
Hello, we're still here? Yes.
So, okay, because I just heard a jingle. So what are the rules that where each and everyone can adapt to, what is feasible for the operators, and what happens to the operators, the market entities, which don't comply with the rule set, right? And as soon as we can answer those two questions in a proper way, we will, and only then we will have a chance for any market to being open and keeping the most important thing in mind, it's the player protection.
Okay.
Yes.
So one question for Matthias. The marketing will be probably changed quite a lot. So affiliates, the classical affiliate business is dead under the new rules. It's you're not allowed to share any revenues or money customers paid in with affiliates. So there probably will be more money for other forms of marketing, like commercials or advertising. Do you see a chance in the new regulation?
You mean? Martin, are you still hearing me?
You can hear it. It's just a jingle. You might continue.
Okay, you hear me. Yes, I think we will have under the new regulation some changes in view of ad sales, marketing of sport betting offers. And for example, here in the live areas in the online tickers, there will be no advertising allowed anymore. But we also in the past we found a lot of solutions, and I think the under the new regulation, the sport betting offers will change their offer, and some have still changed their offers. And in the next step, if you change your offer and your sport betting product, you will also have to change your advertising. And these are new advertising formats we are working on together with our partners. And but I think it's too early to speak about details.
Okay, so it will be more effective, hopefully, for operators.
Yes, I'm totally convinced. So some of them built it up very, very successfully, their brands in the last 10 years. And if you build it up your brand already, then you and everyone knows your brand. Then you have to change your marketing strategy.
Yeah, brand building is quite important. Just very few minutes left. Just one sentence for each of you, if to conclude how you see the future. Simon, or perhaps?
Yeah, sure. I'm looking quite interesting to the future, and I'm really excited to see how everything will develop, how all the KYC processes of the operators will be accepted by the customers or not, and if we as CRIF can position ourselves as a partner to make sure that we will find together a good way to onboard customer. I'm quite happy, and please get back to me and feel free to drop me a line or give me a call. Because this is our passion, and we really want to see a cool German regulated user conversion friendly market in Germany. So here I am.
So thank you. We are almost done. Perhaps one last sentence from Nico. Otherwise, we are over the time already.
Yes.
All good. So I think, and this is also the discussion we had with Matthias as well. I see a bright future, right? But now the really work starts. Now the work starts in being able to have a market which a huge size, with well-educated people, having all the mobiles, having all the tools, and we just need to evolve and communicate with each other. And as soon or if each and everyone is talking to each other, there will be a bright future for every market, especially for the German market, of course, as well.
Okay, thank you. So Matthias, if you're still live, you can just add one sentence. Otherwise,
yes, I totally agree, especially with Nico and yes, we are looking into a bright future. Now we have some issues to solve, but I think as a German company who is established in Germany, who is under German rules and jurisdiction, all the responsible people are living here in Germany. For us, and also for our big partners, a proper regulation is the most important thing. We need to develop together the business. And I think a first big step is done with handing out the first licenses. And I think that there will be in the near future also other market participants will have the licenses in their hand. And we are looking forward to go into the discussions with all this existing and new market participants.
So thank you very much to the participants. A very optimistic outlook to the future. And keep in contact, and the discussion will go on. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.